alaikum and good evening. Viewers, in a terrorist attack carried out with military precision, militants wearing Pakistani uniforms burst into the country's busiest Karachi airport under cover of darkness in one of the most audacious attacks in Pakistan in years. Uzbek fighters were involved in the attack that killed 37. Insurgent sources said how the Pakistani Taliban can draw on international militant networks to carry out these major attacks. The militants failed in its main objective to hijack an aircraft and hold its passengers hostage, but the attack extinguished a peace process and raised several questions about how the Taliban were able to penetrate the airport serving Pakistan's economic hub. TTP struck the ASF Academy on Tuesday evening again. Gunmen on motorbikes opened fire on an ASF Academy. TTP spokesman Shahidullah Shahid warns that there would be many more such attacks in future. On the other hand, government decided to do army operation. Today, we will discuss all the aspects of Karachi attack and irresponsible role of media during the coverage as well. We will also discuss the attacks on Shia pilgrims in Balochistan, Taftan, and PM Nawaz Sharif's letter to Modi. And as you know, that Mr. Zaid Hamid joins me in my show. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Zaid Hamid. Mr. Zaid Hamid, as you saw this week, the attacks on Karachi, not once, but twice, and then the terrorists, they were Uzbeks. How do you see this tragedy happening in our country? But before I get your answer, let's have a look at the report on these attacks, and then we will start our discussion.
On 8 June 2014, turned heavily on militant attack Jinnah International Airport in Karachi. 36 people were killed, including 10 attackers, and at least 18 persons were wounded. Pakistan's military fought an all-night battle with Taliban gunmen who beside Karachi airport on the attack with rocket launchers and suicide waste and grenades. Several made in India injection spectorate have also been recovered from the militants during a search operation at Karachi airport. On 10 June, just 2 days after the airport attack, 2 to 4 unidentified militants opened fire near ASF Academy in Pahalwan. Karachi airport attack was the first large-scale incident in the airport in recent years. Earlier in 2011, Taliban gunmen attacked the Mehran naval base, destroying 2 aircraft and killing 10 personnel. In 2012, the Bacha Khan International Airport in Peshawar was also being attacked by the militants. The TTP carried out a raid on Pakistan military headquarters Rawalpindi in 2009, leaving 23 dead, including 11 troops and 3 hostages.
Yes, Zaid Hamid, as you saw the report. Now, before we get started, last week I would like to show a statement that you said in your last week's show that Karachi will explode. Let's have a look at that, and then I would like to know that what made you say that.
We need to handle Karachi. This is getting out of control. Karachi is going to explode. Army this to the government, and the government has been routinely ignorant, insensitive, trying to delay the match. Now they can't delay it. Karachi has exploded.
और आने वाले वक्तों में हालात अब बहुत ज्यादा खराब होंगे कराची में for a short period of time, जब तक कि आपको एक्चुअली कराची में मार्शल लॉ लगाना पड़ेगा, कर्फ्यू लगाने पड़ेंगे, पूरा रिस्ट्रिक्ट करना पड़ेगा, चोक करना पड़ेगा.
Yes, Mr. Zaid Hamid, as you broadcasted the conditions of Karachi, what made you say that Karachi will explode? And unfortunately, it did happen within a week.
You see, whatever we said was not magic. It was hardcore threat analysis. We were monitoring the war that has been imposed against Pakistan. You used the word it was a terrorist attack. We would like to clarify that. It was not a law and order problem. It was not a terrorist attack. It was an act of war. And Pakistan is facing an asymmetric, decentralized urban war, which is now entering its last stages of demolition. These are the wars that will be fought in the 21st century. This is the war that you see reshaping the Middle East. This is the war that is being fought in Iraq right now when Iraq is crumbling under violent non-state actors. This is the war which is being fought in Syria right now. This is the war which has created Boko Haram in Nigeria, and Nigeria is imploding under its weight. And this is the war that is being fought in Somalia. And this is the war that is patronizing TTP and the militant group, so-called Islamic movement of Uzbekistan. So whatever is happening now in Pakistan is not an event in isolation. It's the 4th and the 5th generation wars where reshaping of the Muslim world is taking place. Pakistan is one of the last frontiers. where they have been trying for the last 13 years to dismantle, implode, create a failed state, but they are not successful. They have been able to hurt Pakistan. They've been able to damage us indeed, but they have not been able to destroy Pakistan.
If we analyze the terrorists that attacked the Karachi airport, and then the responsibility claimed by TTP and Islamic Movement of Uzbekistan. I mean, what is the Islamic Movement of Uzbekistan, and who is behind this? Who are these people, Uzbeks?
You see, let me make it very clear to you that I do not accept that this attack has been done by Islamic Movement of Uzbekistan. And who are they, by the way? See, in the modern time, there are three major powers which are actually involved heavily into this region. One of them are the Americans and the NATO, that power bloc. Other is Mossad, the Israelis, and third is the Indian RAW. And all three have a common objective of attacking Pakistan. And for that purpose, they have created various proxy groups, the Black Operation. They have created the Joint Special Operations Command, JSOC, the American Army, US Army, which is responsible for dismantling country, which is responsible for taking away the nuclear weapons, and doing the black ops, particularly in Pakistan and Iran. And Indians are heavily involved as well, and they have also created various proxy groups, and the objective is to wage war on ethnic, religious, linguistic, various lines. The TTP is a terrorist outfit which is based in Afghanistan now. It was initially based in Pakistan, it's been pushed back, now it's in Afghanistan, it is being patronized by the CIA, Mossad, and RAW. Similarly, the Balochistan Liberation Army, which is a Marxist, secular, liberal, militant group, which is again doing the same objective of dismantling Pakistan. Similarly,
Mr. Zaid Hamid, these terrorists are Uzbeks. So what are Uzbeks doing here?
You see, the point is, how do you know they were Uzbek? Just because a fake website has claimed that they were Uzbek? To me, they appeared Gurkhas, the Indian military special forces. How do you know the faces of Uzbek, Gurkhas, Baltis, Gilgatis, and Chitralis, and Chinese, and Tibetis? They're all the same. The point is, they were dead men. The dead men don't speak. Definitely, they were foreigners. They were not Pakistanis. And the point is that there is no doubt about this fact, that Indian weapons were on board, on their bodies. They were using medicines which were made in India or imported from India. And these men were highly trained in using rocket launchers, grenade launchers, and sophisticated weapon system having night vision devices, night vision goggles, which even the Pakistan Army and Airport Security Force do not use.
The way they conducted the attack, they seemed very well trained.
They were very well trained, but they were not mentally strong. They panicked. You see, this is the whole thing. They were very well trained in weaponry and weapon systems and all. But they panicked once they entered. They were confronted by the security forces, airport security force, rangers, and they panicked. Despite the fact that the aircraft were right in front of them, they had rocket launchers which could damage the aircraft from 400 yards. Still, they could not damage the aircraft. They were confined to hangars. They were confined to cargo areas where they were surrounded, isolated, and killed.
But were they panic, or were the ASF workers and the rangers and the army, they were able to demolish them and not let them have a successful attack?
The end result is the same. You see, the response by Pakistani security forces was ruthless and brilliant. They coordinated well, they fought well, they defended Pakistan well. And that created a panic response in the militants. They were not prepared for this kind of response. They actually surrounded,
according to Chaudhry Nisar, 7 minutes took rangers to be there. And then for those 7 minutes, ASF workers were there, and then army was there in the next 20 minutes.
You see, the point is, Pakistan Army and Armed Forces intelligence agencies knew that Karachi is going to explode. And again, the analysis that we had done also was being listened to by Pakistani armed forces. And people knew that something big is going to happen in Karachi. In fact, it has begun now. You will see more attacks like this in Karachi. Because
Mr. Zaid Hamid, you just mentioned that the information was provided earlier. And we did see Chaudhry Nisar saying that on March 23rd, Interior Ministry did inform the Sindh government. Let's have a look at that clip. What does he have to say about the earlier information? And I would like to get your comment on that.
एक चैनल ने कहा कि 10 नहीं 30 लोग अंदर दाखिल हुए हैं, मगर जो एक खसूसी रिपोर्ट मार्च में मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ इंटीरियर ने सिंध को भेजी, उसमें वाज़िया तौर पर वो भी रिकॉर्ड पे है, निशानदेही की गई कि ये जो गेट है जिससे मेजर हमला हुआ, ये सिक्योरिटी रिस्क है और इस पे फौरी तौर पर ये मार्च में भेजी गई. अब ये तो बात रिकॉर्ड पे हो गई. अब हर एक को अपनी उन जिम्मेवारियों से औहदा बरा होना चाहिए. किसकी क्या जिम्मेवारी है, बजाय इसके कि उसको बताया जाए, उसको खुद एहसास होना चाहिए और अपनी जिम्मेवारी एक तरफ और दूसरों पर उंगली उठाना, खुदा के लिए इन आदतों से बाज आएं.
Yes, Mr. Zaid Hamid, as you heard Chaudhry Nisar saying that this Fokker gate from where the terrorists entered, that was a security risk and this was being informed to Sindh government back in March. So what else could be done then?
You see, let me make it very clear. Coming back to the Uzbeks first. The point is, the Uzbeks have released a press release saying that they have claimed that they have attacked this particular hangar.
And they've shown the pictures of those 10 militants
And the 10 militants,
well.
their pictures have also been shown. But the fact is that if you see the dead terrorists on ground, they don't match with the pictures of the press release. They are two different groups altogether. And also the Uzbeks, the so-called press release has claimed that they have destroyed the fighter aircraft on the airport, which is rubbish, nonsense, completely farcical. We know no fighter aircraft were destroyed on ground. In fact, there were no fighter aircraft there at all.
They're all passenger
They're all
aircraft.
passenger aircraft, and even they were not destroyed, just a few bullet holes in a couple of aircraft, that's all. So we know that that press release is primarily a deception. It was made so the investigation can go in a different direction. The actual perpetrators are Indians. I'm saying it openly and clearly. Pakistan Rangers have also said, Pakistan's Foreign Office has also said that now a full inquiry is being done to identify how come these terrorists were carrying Indian weapons. And now Pakistan's Foreign Office is going to officially lodge a complaint with Indians on this.
So the thing is that TTP has teamed up with India to attack us.
You see, it's not just TTP. There are multiple terrorist groups in Karachi who have teamed up with Indians. There are lots of Indian assets in Karachi as well. I'm not putting any allegation on any political party here. But I'm going to quote a news item, and that political party is responsible for responding. Last year, in October, in 2013, Pakistan Rangers conducted a raid on the office of MQM, and they found Indian weapons there. And they were published in Tribune, Pakistan's one of the premier English newspapers. MQM did not respond to that. Pakistan Army, Pakistan Rangers did not retract their statement. The fact exists. I'm not putting allegation. I'm only asking, what does it mean when Pakistan Rangers attack the search the office of a political party and find Indian weapons there? That political party needs to come out and explain their position.
But then to be recovering Indian weapons from the custody of certain political party, how do you connect that as a connection between that party and India?
You see, the point is, in Pakistan, you cannot buy Indian weapons. You cannot get them on license. They're not available in the tribal areas as well. So this is where the whole argument is. The party has to explain themselves. From where did they get them? And the same weapons were used in the airport attack as well.
But then why are you talking about Indian weapons being found with MQM in their office, and then now Indian weapons being used by these militants in these attacks?
The point is,
the point is, connection in
the point is, this is where the investigation has to be done. Dots have to be connected. Relationship and links have to be found, because there is also another evidence which has been acknowledged by the British government that after 9/11, MQM wrote a letter to the British government saying that we will do the spying and espionage job for them in Pakistan and Karachi. In return, MQM demanded that ISI must be dismantled. And this is an authentic letter. It's a letter which the British government has said they have received it. It's authentic. The news was published in the news, Pakistan's largest English newspaper. So again, I'm not putting the allegations. I'm only asking MQM to respond, because they have not sued the British government.
But we did see MQM asking for the military operation in Karachi. It was the biggest party who stand for this claim to have a military operation in Karachi. We will talk more on this. I have to take a short break here. We will stay with us. We'll be right back after a short break. We're talking about the Karachi airport attacks. Now that brings up a lot of questions. Who is the Islamic movement of Uzbekistan? Who is behind this movement? And then how come the non-state are getting very active within the Pakistan scenarios? Mr. Zaid Hamid, before going on a break, we were saying different aspects of this attack. The weaponry that's been found in this attack that was used by those was the Indian weaponry. Now, how can we connect India with just the weapons being found?
You see, the point is that Pakistan knows this for sure, that all militant organizations in Pakistan are being funded and by the Indians from Afghanistan. It is not just insurgents, urban insurgents in Karachi, it's the TTP. And otherwise, how do you explain these militant organizations getting massive amount of weaponry? Which country is supporting? There is some kind who's supporting and giving weapons to these militant organizations. Let me ask you a question. Then let's open the. Who are the countries who could be funding? In Afghanistan, how many countries are there? Either US, either it's NATO, either it's the Afghan army or the Indians. Afghan army are dependent on food supply, on the food support and weapon support from the US and the NATO. So they're not the main culprit. But definitely, the heavy presence of Indians in Afghanistan, support to the militant groups. We know that they are supporting the Balochistan Liberation Army and the TTP and strong assets in Karachi
but
as
then,
well.
Mr. Zaid Hamid, we would like to show you a clip of Joe Biden's speech 2009 on which he's discussing on the war strategies. And then I would like to get your comment on that.
Security Advisor to the President of the United States. There was a particularly difficult mission laying out that had to be accomplished. And it was a Black Ops operation. And one of the other guy's uniform said, "I don't know that's possible." Literally, "I don't know that's possible," he said. And Mullen, who was an even-handed guy about all the services, even though he's Navy, he said, "Hell, these are SEALs. They can do anything." And so you guys who were I guess you're starting as of Monday they started, don't quit. Don't quit. Need you. We need you. Because the wars we're going to be fighting, your fathers and grandfathers' wars, this idea of being able to wage two major wars on either side of the world, we still got to be prepared. The matter is, the wars of the 21st century are going to be wars based on wars based on failed states, wars based on the consequence of terrorism and the availability of means that never existed in all of history for terrorists to be able to have access to. And so, folks, it's you guys we're looking to. It's you guys who put your ass on the line and wait that nobody else no one else does, except what you're doing. And I probably have trouble if the press is here, but the fact of the matter is, we need you badly. We need you badly. And you know what? We have no right to expect of you what you're ready to do. We have no right to ask it of you. But I assure you, I guarantee you that we appreciate it. Because, you know, the truth of the matter is, we're going to look back, and you're going to look back when you're my age. And the history of the journey of this country is going to be written by whether or not what you're about to perform.
Yes, Mr. Zaid Hamid, as you heard Joe Biden saying the war strategy of the 21st century, and he just explained simple steps. Number one, to create chaos in the country, to make them a failed state. Third, let terrorists get access to their main prime department. Fourth, to take over after all this. So who is behind all this?
This is exactly what we've been telling you. Joe Biden made it very simple for us. They create chaos. In every country, they want to dismantle. And to create chaos, they also use the word black ops, black operations. Operations supporting insurgent groups, supporting Joint Special Operations Command, supporting TTP, supporting BLA, supporting militant terrorists with the political parties, creating Boko Haram, creating IS of Iraq, creating the army. This is called black ops, creating chaos. And once the chaos is created, you create a failed state out of it. And once the failed state is created, and you create a perception that Pakistan's nuclear weapon to fall into the hands of the terrorists, and then you move in to secure the country.
Mr. Zaid Hamid, we are seeing states getting failed around us, like in Iraq, the second capital city has been taken over. Syria is in front of you. Now, as Pakistan, we saw these attacks happening. What should be done? We do owe responsibility to these chaotic conditions at our security forces, on ourselves first.
Let me first give hope to Pakistani nation and give a message to our enemy. Pakistan is here to stay. We are a hard country. We are a solid country. Our armed forces are united. And Pakistan is the only country in the region we are actually winning the battle. Biden is losing in Pakistan.
But Mr. Zaid Hamid, is Pakistan going to stay as a headless state or as a strong state?
You see, despite the fact that we have no government in the center, despite the fact that we have institutional clash in Pakistan, despite the fact that we have a collapsing economy and a corrupt, incompetent government in the middle, the fact of the matter is Pakistan stands united today because of the Pakistani armed forces and the ISI. The sacrifices that our armed forces are giving. Iraqi army does not exist. It's crumbling under the pressures which are approaching. Syrian army has crumbled. Libyan army crumbled. Nigerian army control it. Somalian doesn't even exist. Iraqi and Afghan army would crumble once the Americans and NATO leave. It's only the Pakistan army which is keeping Pakistan united and strong and defending. And this is the factor that we are saying. For Pakistanis...
But Mr. Zaid Hamid, you talked about the armies of Pakistan, which stays united. So far, we are seeing it united. And inshallah, we pray that they stay. The leadership, the political leadership, if you observe them, the federal and the provincial governments, why are they in head-to-head wars with each other, even on these Karachi airport attacks as well?
You see, this is the problem, that the leadership is so myopic, so pygmy, so stupid. They can't even tell the difference between a law and order problem, terrorism, or a war on nation. They are still in denial. They can't accept what you just heard from Joe Biden. They can't accept that in Pakistan, the final stages of the war of annihilation has been launched by the enemy. A different story, that they are failing. In Pakistan, we are gaining ground. We have defeated the TTP. They can do explosions. They can attack few airports or few places, but they cannot overrun the country as they are in Iraq right now, or probably overrunning Syria right now. In Pakistan, the fact of the matter is, especially in Karachi, just recently, a couple of days back, Pakistan Army has a very core commanders, formation commanders conference. And in that army was resolute that we are going to take the militants head on, and their bases anywhere in Pakistan will be crushed by force. And army are going to be very ruthless now. They are going to bypass the government, because the government is a bunch of morons. They can't even know what to do with the militants. The army will take the matters into its own hands now. But that is about the tribal
government. Let us see what Rahman Malik has to say about these Karachi attacks and the federal and government sectors.
पे बहुत ही वो नेगेटिविटी लाने की कोशिश की गई, लेकिन हमको बावर कर दूं कि कराची एयरपोर्ट क्या पाकिस्तान के सारे एयरपोर्ट जो हैं वो फेडरल टेरिटरी डिक्लेयर्ड इलाके हैं। कराची में जितनी मर्जी ऑपरेशंस करते रहे, लेकिन मालाकाट स्वाद सप्लाई हो रही है, या नॉर्थ वजीरिस्तान, साउथ वजीरिस्तान जहां से इनकी सप्लाई हो रही है, या साउथ से यहाँ लश्कर जंग भी बैठा हुआ है, या वो जंग के वो ठिकाने जहां पे आज तक अमल नहीं हुआ। मैं ये समझता हूं कि सारे अमल को रोकने के लिए कार्रवाई नहायत जरूरी होगी। मुज़ाकरात के लिए आगे बढ़ने की गुंजाइश नहीं है। अब एक ही चीज है, वो है ऑपरेशन, और वो है एक्शन अगेंस्ट द टेररिस्ट विद फर्म हैंड।
Yes, Mr. Zaid Hamid, as you saw Rahman Malik saying that all airport security is the responsibility of federal. And we heard Chaudhry Nisar saying that federal informed, the Interior Ministry already informed Sindh on March 23rd about this security lapse. So who is to be blamed too?
The government, the federal and the provincial, the entire political setup, democracy has to be blamed, and the media has to be blamed as well. The fact is that if the provincial government has not responded to the threat alert, why did the government stay silent? Were they blind? Couldn't they see? The provincial government has not taken enough security precautions. They're forceful on them. Whatever the federal government wants, they get it achieved, they get it done. When they want it, but why in this case, when the existential matter of life and death for Pakistan was involved, they was complacent. When they saw the provincial government has not done it, and we know the provincial government is corrupt and involved in terrorism in Karachi. Consists of the political parties who are no terrorist gangs. All the urban war in Karachi is being done by the political government of Sindh. All the component members are involved in having various terrorist gangs on the cities. They're responsible for death and destruction on the streets of Karachi. So how would we expect them to protect Pakistan strategically? And this is what we are saying, especially when they have a track record of sending letters to the British government demanding dismantling of army and ISI. And these are acts of treason, if I properly say that. So the fact of the matter is, this matter cannot be left to the provincial government now. Provincial government of Sindh need to be sacked. Army need to take over Karachi completely. And then the filth. Political governments can't do that.
So, do we see Karachi becoming as Waziristan? Now that North Waziristan does not seem to be as big of a threat as big Karachi seems like.
You see, Karachi is going to be the final battlefield. That is why we said Karachi explodes. And that is why we did the assessment that while army is gaining ground in the tribal areas in Balochistan, it is Karachi where army has not gone in. And the terrorists find safe in Karachi under the protection of the political parties there. It is not possible for a terrorist group to have this level of military equipment, training, supplies, and movement within the city, involvement of the local political parties.
What about the Karachi operation that we have been listening that it has entered into its third stage? How come these militants, they can enter at the Karachi airport with this much weaponry? What is that Karachi operation?
You see, Karachi's police is highly politicized. Karachi's police control rooms are controlled by the political parties. Karachi police wireless networks are being hit by the terrorists. This is why we are saying, without dismantling the political infrastructure in Karachi and handing it over to a select elite team of technocrats handing over of the city by the army, you cannot control this asymmetric urban guerrilla warfare. And these attacks will keep on happening. And the government will keep on blaming each other. But the fact is, it will be Pakistan's law. It's an urban war and has to be dealt on warfare through martial law. Army will have to take over Karachi decisively, remove all the power which is there now, impose its own structure, take charge of it, and then start house to house in every segment of Karachi. It will take long, it will be bloody, it will be dirty, it will be messy, but that's the only way to do it.
Mr. Zaid Hamid, Shahidullah Shahid, the spokesperson of PTP, He gave this statement after the attacks that we are not the Taliban of 2007. Now we are more organized. We have fine quality politicians, legal experts, and people from all good walks of life with us. So we are better organized. How do you see our political leadership at the same time? Have they organized betterly as well in competition with Taliban?
See, Pakistan, unfortunately, in the last 10 years, not a single terrorist has been hanged by the government. Nawab Sharif government is in place for 40 months. And Pakistan's political government...
Can they see that the ship will sink altogether if this will not be taken care of?
You see, what happens is, can't the government see this? Can't the parliament see this? Can't the media? The way media behaved in this airport attack was actually assisting, was actually giving direct terrorists and the militants that now this level of security has arrived at the airport. Now the army commandos are coming, are approaching from this gate.
Mr. Zaid Hamid, we will talk on this aspect of media irresponsible while covering out there in the fields of these attacks after this short break. We'll stay with us. We'll be right back after. Welcome back, viewers. We are talking about airport attacks that happened this week. During these attacks, the role of media is a question mark as well. During these attacks, all channels were trying to prove their efficiency and broadcasting our security plan strategy, which was helping out terrorists in return. How do you see, how the role of the media, and then how government should take action over unprofessional reporting of channels? We would like to know. Mr. Zaid Hamid, during these attacks, as you saw, how media reporting was getting did, and it was done irresponsibly and irresponsibility. And as you said yourself, also they were helping out terrorists by letting out the secret information and the plans to the terrorists. Don't you think that media passed their limits in this field coverage?
Nothing is proven. You see, whenever people say that media is the fourth pillar of the state, I have always been an advocate of the point that our media is actually the fifth column of the enemy, not the fourth pillar of the state. And this point was once again proven when a major national crisis was holding, and the role of media was catastrophic, suicidal actually for the nation. I mean, there were rumors as if there is no tomorrow. I mean, someone was saying to me, 10 terrorists have entered, others said the 30 have gone inside, somebody said the planes are on fire, one media reported that the plane has already been hijacked. I mean, the amount of panic and confusion that they were spreading based on absolutely no information. No reliable information at all. Just rumors were being broadcast as breaking news. And
I would like to show you a clip that Interior Minister Nisar has also focused on this part of media coverage. Let's have a look at that, and then I will get your comment.
बारे में ये कह दिया, मसलन एक चैनल ने कहा कि 10 नहीं 30 लोग दाखिल हुए हैं. एक चैनल में आया कि 4 जहाज तबाह कर दिए गए हैं. एक ये आया कि नहीं वो जारी है, मतलब ये सुबह 10 बजे 11 बजे 12 बजे भी बातें आती रहीं कि ऑपरेशन है वो खत्म नहीं हुआ. तो हमारी सिक्योरिटी एजेंसीज के ये डर था कि इस पे हुकूमत, तमाम हुकूमतें, खा वो सूबाई हैं, वफाक हैं, हमारे मीडिया के दोस्तों के साथ मिलकर एक कोड ऑफ कॉन्डक्ट जरूर होना चाहिए, क्योंकि मेरी ताकत है, मीडिया सिक्योरिटी एजेंसीज की ताकत है. और अगर इसमें से भी चैनल्स या मीडिया आउटलेट्स कोई ऐसी खबर दे दें कि पूरे मुल्क में तशवीश हो और उससे बढ़कर दहशतों के हाथ मजबूत हों, तो मेरा ख्याल है कि इसका मदावा होना चाहिए.
Yes, Mr. Zaid Hamid, as you heard Chaudhry Nisar also emphasizing on this aspect of media, reporting got out of hands during these 2 days of attacks. How do you see this?
We have absolutely now no doubt that Pakistani media is totally able to handle war situations. So either we shut down the media, or we how do we regulate them now in the short period of time? Because training would take a it's a long-term process. Basically, what should be done now is the government should make a policy that whenever a crisis is unfolding at any location, media should not be allowed on site. On a distance, there should be a control room should be formed where media should be locked up there, and only selected press briefings from the government or the army or the ISI should be to the media. And then the controlled information will be released to the nation, which will not have disinformation, lies, propaganda, and confusion and panic. And in case of war, this will have to be enforced.
But then, Mr. Zaid Hamid, having said this, that media field report slightly, in fact, a lot of
Not
out of
slightly,
control
catastrophically
during
out of hand,
these
yes.
attacks. At the same time, how do you see the role of media, which brought up the issue of those 7 people that were burned to death inside the cold storage? In that aspect, media did play a role to highlight the issue.
You see, the point is...
But the help that was provided was late still and saved these lives.
You see, the point is, the people whose loved ones were missing in fire, they called up the media, true, and media could still have played that news without jeopardizing the Pakistan security, and that's what they did later on. But the point is, while the crisis was unfolding, battle was going on, while the militants were inside, while the whole world was looking at Pakistan, the perception that was created that Karachi airport has fallen to the terrorists was deadly, was dangerous. The terrorists were only confined to a small area. They were isolated, surrounded, and killed. No plane was damaged. No, Pakistan, all assets were almost secure except for cargo hold, which was set on fire. The fact is, the reporting that was done was dangerous, to say the least. And now, future, this code of conduct should immediately be implemented, that there should not be, in these kind of, there should not be any field media on site, but their camp office should be formed on a corner where proper briefing given to the media, and only the briefings should be aired. No rumors, no disinformation, no lies, no propaganda. And whichever channel has spread these kind of disinformation and created panic and chaos, they should be fined also. And this is something where the government must put the media must behave as the 4th pillar of the state, not as the 5th column of the enemy.
Apart from the attack, the tragedy that followed was the death of these 7 victims within the cold storage. If we analyze that scenario, then who do you feel responsible for this? Why did the DG Ranger announce at 2 a.m. that the area is clear?
You see,
why did they forget about this cold storage?
This particular attack on Karachi airport, exposed everyone. It exposed the federal government. It exposed the government. It exposed the lack of coordination between the federal and the provincial government on intelligence sharing. It showed how casual airport security force was at that Fokker gate, despite the fact they knew that this is a vulnerable gate. They have also a problem. And also then later on in the rescue, when there was no central coordinator to manage and clear area and give and manage the rescue operation as far as the cold storage was concerned.
But then is CAA, Civil Aviation Authority, responsible? Is
everybody is
responsible? How come if they said the area is clear and Civil Aviation Authority took over,
the responsibility,
then why did they ignore the cold storage
the responsibility of the army and the rangers and the SSG was only to eliminate the risk. To extinguish the fire and to find the missing people was not the job of the security forces who had gone in to fight the terrorists.
So then the DG, Civil Aviation Authority, is responsible person.
Civil aviation is responsible for managing the airport.
And civil aviation is under
federal government. And in fact, what I've heard is that there is no director of security in the civil aviation for 6 months also. The seat is vacant. So in the time of war, when security is the topmost priority, if this is the priority level that the federal government has given to the civil aviation security, then I must say.
So the federal did inform the provincial government, Sindh government in March, but did appoint the chairman of Civil Aviation Authority.
This is what we are saying. The whole system, the whole coordination between the federal and the provincial government and the operating procedures they have put in exposed. And this is a serious food for thought for the government to regroup, reorganize, and prepare, because such disasters will happen in future. Kind of war we are fighting. This will happen more. Because there is no response as far as the government is concerned to kill the enemy at a The problem has now, the cancer has now spread all over the country. In January, we had warned the government not to initiate peace process with the terrorists because they were surrounded in North Waziristan. And we have said, if in time they'll spread all over the country, then you'll have to fight the war in Pindi, Lahore and Karachi. We said these words in January. And now the same monster is coming back to haunt us. These militants have spread all over the country. They're supported by the Indians. They've weaponized themselves, organized themselves. Their cadre is spread all over.
How do you see the national security session under the leadership of Sharif, and they decided that they will go with operations more in North Waziristan, and they have given the green signal for more airstrikes as well?
You have to understand one thing. This is a war which is not in North Waziristan now. It's a war which is being fought in Pakistan major cities. And army cannot fight this war alone without the support of the judiciary, media and the government. And this is where the entire Pakistani state is collapsing. The judiciary, media, government is not supporting the army. You can start helping the army by start hanging the terrorists. Why are you not hanging them? There are at least 3,000 terrorists who are confirmed for death penalty to be hanged. If you hang them in Pakistan, tomorrow, I can guarantee you, the error will come down 90%. But the point is that government and the judicial system is actually protecting them, releasing them back, and they are coming back to fight the Pakistani state and the armed forces and killing our people. He is the man, a chief executive of the country, responsible for whatever is happening, and he's failing. He will make it very clear. It's not the failure of the government, it's the failure of the Prime Minister.
Now, Defense Minister Asif said recently in one of his interviews that the government and the army are on the same page. And that's why we are seeing the resolution of Pervez Musharraf's case as a result of the court orders taking off his name from ECL.
You see, the point
is...
And
then we are seeing some progress, other
the government,
certain
the
media
government
group
and army
well.
are not on the same page.
And Prime Minister Nawab Sharif has understood, he has gotten the message now?
If Nawaz Sharif has the message from the army, he should initiate the death penalty. He should hand over Karachi to dismiss the provincial government. And he should ban Jio. He should not protect Jio. He strongly demands should be dismantled. If Nawaz Sharif does that, then I will say yes. He's understanding what army is saying and they're on the same page. As long as Nawaz Sharif is Jio and taking a stand against the army, as long as Nawaz Sharif is protecting the terrorists.
But Minister Khwaja Asif has said himself that the application filed against Jio into Pembra won with the approval of Prime Minister himself.
You see, he has no choice. He'll say that.
How can we say that it's saving that certain media group Jio?
Because the information minister, who's very close to the Prime Minister, only said that we stand with the Jio and we don't stand with the army. That's his word. I'm not making them up. The Prime Minister has very openly said that Jio will not be shut down. Who the hell is he to say that? If the Jio has committed a crime under Pakistani law, why can't it be shut down? Who is Mr. Prime Minister to say that? That is your property or Pakistan belongs to him. He inherited it through his father's inheritance. He is not. So the fact of the matter is that Prime Minister is not standing with the nation, he's not standing with the army. If he was, he would have shut down Jio. He would have started the death penalty in the country which the army is demanding should be initiated. But he would have formed the military courts, giving more strength to the army to put the terrorists on trial through martial, eliminate them. He's not doing that. As a result, his whole judicial system is not delivering.
You just mentioned about military courts. So do you think that Chief of Army Staff Rahil Sharif would this issue up to have them have military courts decide the terrorism?
You see, army has no choice. Either army starts doing extrajudicial killing in the country. The terrorists are spread all over the country now. If the airport, like in airport, for example, army did not take prisoners, killed them all. And army, if these kind of events happen in the country, will take matters into their own hands. But what about those who are captured? Should they be killed, extradited? Or should they be handed over to the army for a fair military trial and then executed? That's a decision only Prime Minister can take. As far as army is concerned, whenever they will be called for duty, they will do their duty. If Pakistan is standing today, it is because of the army, not because of Nawaz Sharif. If Nawaz Sharif, Pakistan will not suffer. If army goes, Pakistan will not be there. So that's the difference.
Hamid, we have probably 2 minutes left. Just last question. What do you have to say on these recent drone attacks in the US in North Waziristan?
You see, Pakistan is, as far as the chaos in Pakistan is concerned, every enemy is sensing that. Narendra Modi is threatening to attack Pakistan, Dawood Ibrahim or Kashmiri militant groups. And Americans are taking the opportunity as well. This drone attack has been done against Afghan Taliban, against a group of Afghan Taliban who were into Pakistani area, eliminated by a drone. Americans will never strike TTP. Americans will never kill Uzbeks. Americans will kill the Balochistan Liberation Army terrorists who are attacking Pakistan. Americans will only eliminate Afghan resistance, which is fighting against the American occupation. As far as the war against Pakistan is concerned, Americans are equally involved with Mossad and RAW. And Pakistan should realize that. The matter of attack on Pakistani airport must be taken up with the Uzbek government, with the Afghan government, with the American government, and with the Indian government. There are at least 4 major governments involved in attacking Pakistan using black operations, non-state violent actors, covert, asymmetric, decentralized urban war to create chaos in Pakistan as Joe Biden. The wars in the 21st century would be designed to create failed states. That's what they're trying to do in Pakistan. They'll never succeed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zaid Hamid. Viewers, as you saw, we talked on Karachi attacks. In those attacks, we saw terrorists attacking Karachi airport. But the sad part was the 7 lives that we lost after the attack. Surely someone is responsible, whether federal or provincial, for these losses, and this matter must be investigated. That's it for tonight. See you all next Sunday. Allah Hafiz.